Welcome back to Brush Up Your Game, and today we're taking a look at the Resistance's Futile prize ship, at least the first one here, and that's the I.R.W. Avatar of Tomed. This was inspired by a novel. I believe it's one that Shatner wrote, where he got to be the hero, of course, or Captain Kirk got to be the hero. We start off with the Dideradix class, and standard stats here, but crew triple weapon tech, which is a fairly unusual loadout. If you want to go heavy weapons on a Dideradix, this is the ship to do it on. Named ability. During the roll attack die step of the combat phase, you may roll +1 attack die. If you do so, suffer 1 damage to your hull. Not a great trade-off, not something I'm really looking to do, unless I have, there's a Vulcan captain, I think it's Mirok? Let's play that game. I know he's like skill 5 or 4. Not super good, but he is definitely one of the kind of weird, undervalued sidebar Raykar on here. Attacking with a secondary weapon, you may add +1 attack die to that attack. If you do so, discard that weapon after the attack's complete. Raykar would be a decent captain on the Tomed because you have so many weapon slots. Continuing our search for what in the world makes this any good, I think you might be looking at... Yeah, it's Mirok. There we go. It is Mirok. After you move, if at least one friendly ship is within range 1 of your ship, repair 1 damage to your hull or shields. So, Mirok on the Tomed. Playable? Possible? Theoretically, at least. I don't think it's great. But I'd at least find it okay. And then we get the Romulan Borg. Because, after all, Resistance is futile. So there had to be this line of assimilated ships. And it started with the Avatar of Tomed. So this is a Romulan Borg, and now we've got different stat lines. We got 4265. That's an extra attack, an extra shield. It is 34 points. Crew triple weapon tech Borg slot, which is fun. Don't get me wrong, I like that. When you perform a cloak action, you may immediately perform a regenerate action as a free action. And just as a reminder, if you do so, you cannot attack that round. Okay, cool. I can live with that one. Why? Because if I cloak, I probably don't want to actually make an attack that round. I want to be perma-cloaked. There's times it's going to be a problem, but I think in combination with some of the Romulan tech that's out there, Romulan cloaking device, some of the Alliance stuff that makes it so you can't be attacked at range 3 if you've been cloaked, you have some incentives to stay cloaked. I like what's going on here, and while I don't think this is great, I do think it's at least okay. And I think my Dideradix rankings reflected. I thought this was at least okay, aside from it being overpriced. It is very expensive. But yeah, it does fly well. Maneuver dial is nice. I like 2 and 3 white turns. And the 2 backup is also cool. You can tell I kind of ignore generic ships. I will mention at least Romulan Borg generic. 4 attack die on a Dideradix is nice. You got 2 weapon slots. You can put the 2 Dideradix class weapon boosters. You can get up to 6 dice. You've got the slots for it. I think that is plausible. I don't love it, but at least it's an option for you. And then we have Captain Salatrell. Skill 5. 3 points with a talent slot, but what I like here is at the start of the game, after setup, choose a faction. For the rest of the game during each combat phase, if a ship of that faction is in your forward firing arc, treat your captain skill number as if it were 10 until the end phase of that round. That's a replacement value, so you can still I think you can still modify after that. Um, and yeah, or yeah, I don't see why you couldn't. Um, so there's room there. This is the passive bonus that I think Romulan Commander from the TOS Bird of Prey needed. Was give me passive. Don't make me pay for it. Just give me a straight up boost. Salatrell is not amazing. Don't get me wrong. I have tried to make Salatrell work, but there are moments. Skill 10, it can help. It's a better skill than most Romulan captains can ever get to. So, from that standpoint, I like what Salatrell brings. I think it's better in mission play when you know you're up against a single faction. That would be my favorite place to put this captain. We get Borg Alliance, which is kind of a cool card. Add a Borg's upgrade slot to your upgrade bar. And at the start of the game, place 4 drone tokens on your captain card. This upgrade may only be purchased for a non-Borg ship with a non-Borg captain. Okay. As much as I would have liked an upgrade in the vein of Gold Press Latinum or what is it? It's whatever the Ferengi upgrade is that gives them more Gold Press Latinum. I think the Borg need an upgrade that gave them more starting drones. That would have been neat. But Borg Alliance to give a captain some drone tokens to let them use the Borg tech and to bring more Borg tech in. It's not, it's not great, but there are some at least okay Borg tech cards that I think this unlocks. It's super expensive, and from that standpoint, it just doesn't see play. But if you're going thematic, if you're playing in missions, I think this is a fun card, and it definitely gives me the holodeck what if feel. It lets me play like the Enterprise E in First Contact when it's assimilated or undergoing assimilation by the Borg. I can put this on the Enterprise E and it's like, hey, the Borg are in control. I don't care that it's a Romulan card. At that moment, I still have a thematic justification for it. So, anyway. Plasma torpedoes. 5 points, 5 dice, range 1 to 2, spin your target lock, disable the card, can reroll all your blanks one time. You may fire this weapon from your forward or rear firing arcs. You give me this with like Shinzon where I get a battle station token. I'm okay, but this is still super expensive. Yeah, and two actions to ever use it again. This is really kind of a use once and hope for the best, and I can't truly justify it. So, yeah, plasma torpedoes at least okay, but in the current game they don't hold up because of the price. I like the effect, but this should be like a 2-point weapon now. Vox, which, boy, that should really be used for Star Trek Picard now. Not this, but Romulan Borg dual faction. After rolling your dice for any reason, you may discard this card to reroll one of those dice. Wow. 4 points for one-time use to just reroll a die. I guess there's a time for that, but yikes. That's an expensive card to play. But there's more. Or, after rolling your dice for any reason, you may disable this card and spend 2 of your drone tokens to reroll a die. I don't know that that's much better. This card, I cannot recall anyone ever running Vox. There's also Julian Bashir that does this. At least Vox is not competing with other Voxes. But yeah, yikes. And then we have Hive Mind. Hive Mind is a 1-point Borg card, and for an action, disable this card and any number of your other upgrades and add a drone token to your captain card for each card you disabled with this action, including this card. You cannot exceed your captain's starting number of drone tokens. and you cannot deploy more than one hive mind upgrade to any ship. So, yeah. If you can get the super discounted tactical stations going, and you, for whatever reason, don't need them anymore, I think there's some play with like all the things that add weapon slots, and you can get them for free with like Calvin, Hudson, and Sakona. You might be able to pull this off. You can also, have your Gen Cisco cards that activate at the start, or cards that are just adding slots. It's expensive. I don't know that you ever need that many drone tokens, but I think there is play for it out there. Tough to do on a Borg ship. Maybe possible in some of the dual faction things. I'm thinking like an assimilated target prime that doesn't pay faction penalties. But that would be about it that I can think of. So, yeah. Anyway, this pack, kind of weird, kind of niche cards. Nothing fantastic for me. But at least kind of interesting. Maybe I gave you some weird think abouts. I don't know. That's my hope when I do these. Do you need to go out and spend 40, 50 bucks on this ship? No, it's not worth that. So hopefully I can save you a little money. All right. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, keep brushing up your game. Take care.